boat today to take care of a couple things. As much as it pains me to say it, we're getting close to the end of the season. I don't know how many nights, if any, we have left on the boat, so I'm just trying to get a head start on getting things cleaned up. While down here I was just determining what I wanted to clean, and I picked up the stove to see if I was going to tackle that today. I'm not, but it reminded me of the time I had set the boat on fire. Our stove is an alcohol electric stove. Basically, the way it works is that when you're plugged into shore power, it can work as an electric stove. You heat up the elements just like you would at home. When you're out on the water, you don't have enough power to be able to do that. So what you have to do is fill up the little reservoir with alcohol. What happens is you light that on fire, and that's your flame source for cooking your food. It's not as hot as propane, but I think the reason they have them on boats is generally it's a little bit safer. The thing with our stove is we have this little slider on it that opens and closes the actual area where you can light the alcohol on fire. So when you open it, you light it on fire, you cook your food, it's fantastic. At the end of it, you close it, and that's supposed to put your flame out. Unfortunately, with our unit, the flame doesn't always go out when you shift the metal thing to the side to close it. So when I was cooking breakfast one morning, which I occasionally do, I just closed it and that was it. And then I came up into the cockpit area here, and Julie and I enjoyed our breakfast. At some point during breakfast, we were like, oh, it smells like plastic burning. So we ended up thinking, I wonder what that smell is, and then went back to eating, which is probably the silliest thing we did that day. I mean, there was lots of boats around where we were, so it wasn't, it wasn't out of the realm that it was likely someone else's boat. So anyways, probably a good, I want to say 15-20 minutes went by when we came back down and we realized, holy cow, that plastic smell is our boat. So what ended up happening was, for whatever reason, when we closed that, the flame didn't go out. It was just burning underneath the area underneath there. Now it's all metal underneath there, so it's not such a big deal. The flame can live down there and not hurt too much. There were some wires that kind of got, and that's the plastic smell, where the wires at the back that kind of melted a little bit, and then a little bit of the sticker section on the front of the stove kind of melted away a bit too. Luckily the fire was put out pretty easily. It was just a matter of like lifting it up and smushing it out. Like, alcohol flames don't burn very hot, and they don't really burn out of control, so it's a little bit easier to be able to handle that. Now the other thing is too, we also keep fire extinguishers on board. So one underneath the sink right by the stove, and one up here by the captain's chair, just for those occasions when things happen to go wrong. But that was the day we set the boat on fire, and it could have been a lot worse. Thank goodness it was just inside the stove unit.